Because I think he is an elite talent, but there's as specific, or especially with running backs. Well, especially with a lot of players, it's not just elite talent, right? It's elite talent plus the surroundings that allow you to take advantage of that elite talent.
Yep.
I think he's a really, really talented guy. I saw a tweet this morning from the CBS NFL account posting early career Saquon highlights, and he was jaw-dropping. The problem is when you play behind a mediocre offensive line and when you play in a passing attack that's inconsistent with a ton of wide receiver injuries and teams can key in on you, you're going to end up being 3 yards in a cloud of dust all too often. Have the circumstances changed enough that you think that Saquon Barkley can be a much more efficient player?
I think so. We just talked about the improved circumstances. And here's the thing. You know, he came out last season and got a lot of volume in weeks 1 and 2. You're like, okay, you know, we're coming off the injury. We thought it might be a slow start. But by like week 2, 3, he was getting, 90% of the snaps. He was a top 10 running back in week 3 and 4. You know, we just talked about Daniel Jones coming out strong. He was playing well. And then he stepped on the guy's foot. Yeah. Remember the injury that he had? Just a freak thing. He just stepped on someone's foot, hurt his ankle, was out, and that was it. Then the offense fell apart. Everything was a disaster. So he might have had a really good year last year. I mean, things were certainly trending like that after a month. So there's still a reason for optimism. He's still going to be a super high volume player. And by the way, they didn't go out this offseason and say, you know what? We can't count on him. We need to go out and get another running back. It's Matt Breida, who's a career, good player, fast, but a depth player, right? Yeah. A situational change of pace back. Gary Brightwell, that's their depth at running back. They have not addressed that, and it's obviously not a priority. So I still think he'll be the main guy by far, clearly a feature back, one of the few in the league involved in the passing game. The team will be better. They have 2 good offensive tackles now. I think there's reason for optimism that he can get back in there. Now I have him RB15, so I am baking in some risk here and the shaky offense overall. But I think he has his best year in 3 years.
Yeah, and I think this is a much easier decision this time around because last year, anybody who took him at RB5 or even RB7 was doing so with some trepidation because they knew there was major injury risk. And also at the time last year, the excitement surrounding Jason Garrett as the offensive coordinator is not nearly the same as what it is with Mike Kafka as their offensive coordinator and Brian Daboll as their head coach.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.